Muchas gracias a todos, muchachos, por la presencia. Muchas gracias a los que nos están escuchando en la grabación. Vamos a empezar ahora. Hoy con nosotros tenemos a Ostap, que es de Reliex. Hoy nos va a hablar de una herramienta que se llama ActivityTimeline. Así que estamos muy agradecidos porque nos pudieron elegir a nosotros para mostrar un poquito su solución. Así que, Ostap, de nuevo, muchas gracias. Muchas gracias por la comunicación a la gente de Reliex. Y bueno, es todo tuyo el espacio.
Sí, gracias Andrés. Encantado de conocerlos, pero si lo permiten, voy a presentar en inglés, es más fácil, pero es posible de pedir en español totalmente bien. Yo entiendo todo, pero es más difícil de presentar en idioma que no lo practico normalmente. Entonces, voy a presentar en inglés. Si hay algunos problemas, puedo traducir algunas cosas en español. No, es normal, es posible de escribir las preguntas en chat y vamos a tener un par de cuestiones en final, pero si hay cuestiones durante la presentación, es posible no sé, raise your hand. No.
Sí, levante la mano.
Levante, sí, exactamente. Levantar el mano y podemos discutir durante la presentación. Okay, now switch to English. Okay, let me share my screen. So I'll be talking today about planning for success and how to identify basically capacity constraints in Jira, since capacity management is very important part of project management altogether. And we're going to see today how you can use native Jira, Jira applications that are available with premium solution, and also our app. So basically there are different layers how you can do it and improve your capacity management as part of your general project management. So here, I have a question, raise your hand if you're involved in resource or capacity planning within your team. But since there are not so many of us, let's assume that everyone is involved in this, which basically means just planning for other people, let's say assigning tasks to other people. So it's a quite common, and I would say that most managers at some point encounter this in their day-to-day work. So let's assume, and how we can do this effectively in Jira. So short answer is no, because the issue that there is in Jira, it's mainly focused on the project planning and project work. So it's focused on tasks, on epics, on projects. So it's mostly focused on work, creating work tasks and planning those without much regard for the actual resources that are completed. So nowadays it's people. So basically we need to account for those, but in Jira, there is very little possibility to do this. In Jira, you do have basic project management activities that you can cover. So as I mentioned previously, you can create projects and tasks. You can create a team. You can assign tasks to team members or to teams. You can track milestone completion. So basically the standard project planning where you focus on the work items and somehow it's going to be done. So that's the assumption of Jira. So they just create tasks, they assign it, and this should be done. And these are the views that probably are familiar to you if you use Jira day to day. So this is the standard project views that you see. This is the backlog, the calendar, the sprint, the Kanban view, and this is the timeline view. So these are the views that you can use natively in Jira to manage your projects. And they are honestly quite fine. if you work on some simple projects, you don't have many dependencies, you don't have many people working across different projects, standard Jira is fine for these types of projects and activities. Not gonna lie, I used it for many years, even before I joined my current company. So Jira is quite a robust solution. But for example, if you need something more complex, like sometimes, like even before I joined this company, I've been surprised that like there is a lack of this like resource capabilities in Jira. So for example, you have a very strong project planning, but for example, like when you want to see, okay, who is doing what in my company, how you're gonna know, okay, like people are on the vacation, then the tasks are stuck, who is gonna complete it. So these basic things, honestly, they were missing in Jira, which was always surprising. But like as this slide shows, like don't worry, there are solutions that can help you. And the first one is called Jira Plans. So I'm not sure if everyone is familiar with this, but this is quite popular. Basically, this is the extension that Jira has on its own. It's essentially the additional plugin which is available natively in Jira if you have Jira Cloud Premium or Enterprise, or you have Jira Data Center. So basically, if you have this more expensive options, Jira plans are available to you. They were formerly known as advanced roadmaps. Yeah. These are like this Jira plans. This is a great. Sorry. This is a great tool. Honestly, like I used it before for a long time. So they allow you to plan work, track progress, and report updates, which sounds fantastic. But how it actually looks. So yeah, basically, it allows you to plan work for multiple teams, because there you can combine those like different projects into one plan, or you can combine multiple teams working on one plan. It allows you to be more flexible, so it really enhances and improves your options when talking about planning for big projects, or let's say like programs, or some large project like program increments. So this Jira plan is very powerful because it gives you more flexibility, more functionality on how to work with like these larger iterations. So you're not just limited to standard Jira functionality, and like it really brings you closer to the resource planning, because it actually introduces some concept of the capacity in Jira. So it provides teams with the possibility to somehow estimate and compare it with capacity of the team. So in Jira Plans, this is how it looks. So in Jira Capacity Planning, like in Jira Plans, you have the tab Capacity View, where you are able basically to see the tasks and also the sprints, or there is possibility to do it on the weekly or on the sprint basis, and you can define the capacity, but only on the team basis. So essentially, you can say, okay, the capacity of this team is certain number of hours per week, or certain number of story points that it can deliver. So it does not take into account the individuals. It just looks at the team as the whole. So it doesn't consider any vacation days, sick leaves, and so on. So, but like it's not much, but it's at least something. So it gives you the possibility to understand like what is the capacity, and in case there is a limitation, let's say like you have assigned more work to the team that initially planned, the system will give you the red flag. So for example, here you would see that, okay, it's in red, meaning that there is too much work has been assigned to this particular team or to this particular sprint. So it gives you the possibility to better balance the workload for your teams and in your Jira plans, which brings you closer to basically possibility to plan accordingly and make sure that the project will be delivered as expected. Because if you plan something without considering the capacity, like it's more often than not, it's going to be delayed. So you're not going to be able to deliver it within your time frame. So this is how it works for the Scrum teams, but it also works for the Kanban teams. So here you can basically assign like how many issues or hours you can assign in a week, and it also will give you some sort of idea about the capacity of your team. Okay, but as this slide shows, so what happens if this is not enough? So for example, let's assume that we have people working in multiple teams, which is quite common in today's world. It doesn't consider like the skill set management. So for example, okay, we have people, but what happens if they don't know what we need to do? Like for example, we need someone with the knowledge of, let's say like Java, like Java programming language to fix something, but we only have, let's say like front-end developers which cannot do Java tasks, or at least they cannot do them that effectively. So there is no correlation about that. And also it doesn't consider personal events, vacation, holiday, sick leave. These are all the events that influence the capacity, and so subsequently they influence the delivery of the project. So you cannot disregard them. At least, let's say like in the scope of 1 month, 2 months, the person taking one week vacation really makes a huge influence. And if we extrapolate, let's say we have 1 year, there are 50 people, they all take 2 weeks vacations. It's really a huge chunk of work that's not going to be delivered if we don't take it into account. And natively in Jira, unfortunately, it is not taken into account. So, basically, our solution called ActivityTimeline, this is really what we take it into account, and we try to make this as one of the additional layers in the capacity planning in your organization, because this will ensure that you take into account more, and it will help you understand that, okay, this is our actual true capacity. You'll not always get it like 100% right, but the closer to the truth you get, the more accurate your estimate's going to be, and the more likelihood you're going to deliver it without a delay. So, and our tool, what is the benefit is that we can integrate directly with Jira Plans and with Jira itself. So, and it's quite seamless. I'm going to show it to you later, but essentially it's going to work. It works out of the box. So you don't need to do much if you try our tool. So, and this is just a simple example that I want to show you. So how does it look in Jira Plans? So let's assume we have a project. We planned everything. We assigned people to that project. We assigned the start and due date. We assigned the dependencies. So here it looks perfect. So, okay, it seems that like we're going to deliver it before like Q3 next year, right? But in reality, if we take a look at our tool, we have that there are some people that are severely overbooked or overloaded, which means that basically they're not going to be able to deliver this assigned work in this time frame. Because, for example, here, Amy or demo account, you see they're like every week they are over 100% utilized. So you will either have your employees like severely burned down, like they will not be able to function, or it's simply going to be delayed. So, and without seeing this perspective, like the individual view, you won't be able to understand like if this is going to happen, because from this Jira Plans view, there is no way to say that, okay, some people are overwhelmed, right? Like, and from the team perspective, it looks fine actually, because if we combine, because there are some people that do almost no work, right? And because of that, on the team perspective, it's going to look that that they are not overwhelmed, not overbooked. But from the individual standpoint, we see that, okay, these two people are definitely going to cause a delay because of the, of course, of the holidays and the vacations that are tracked in our app. So basically in our app, you can track those activities of the person. And here is like a short clip how you fix this situation like quite smoothly. So here you take the task and you just change the assignee to the person that is available. And when you do this, basically it happens not only in our tool, but also inside Jira, inside of Jira Plans. So basically it's all automatically synchronized within those systems. So whenever you do any changes, it's possible basically to propagate those changes to other systems. So you don't need to update everything in many systems. Here also I'm showing you that even though there is like one assignee on the task in Jira normally, in our tool we can split this. So if there is a large project and one person will not be able to work on that, we can split it, and now we see like Bob and Amy will be able to share the responsibility of this task. The same goes here. So we can change the assignee from Jane to Svetlana, and in this case, this project will be able to be delivered on time. So,
Osap, sorry, I have to add. I see now that you can actually set the amount of hours that each one will be working. So even you can even set the percentage or amount of time they will be working on it, right? So you can have a main assignee and a secondary assignee of a sort, right? This is pretty useful.
Yes, exactly. So basically, you have a big flexibility because you can split into a number of parts, and it can be between different assignees, and it also can be between different time of your schedule, because it's possible, for example, 1 week you need to work 50% of your time on the task, but next week you need to work 100% of that task. So by splitting this task into pieces, you'll be able to achieve it. And from the Jira perspective, nothing really happens. You don't duplicate tasks. You don't mess with them. Basically, we handle it in here. But from the Jira perspective, you don't create any additional tasks or items. So it doesn't clutter your Jira.
Awesome. Sorry, I may say this in Spanish. Una de las cosas que están muy buenas acá que está mostrando Ostap es justamente que podemos dividir la carga. Normalmente en Jira nosotros podemos usar un usuario asignado. Acá podríamos asignar múltiples y darles una cantidad de carga. Lo que está muy bueno que está mostrando justamente es el tema de que se puede seccionar también cuándo van a tener una carga diferente. Por ejemplo, a mí me pasa que yo soy casi siempre responsable como arquitecto. En un caso personal, soy responsable de una tarea y la tarea en realidad es compartida. Entonces, si bien yo voy a ser el responsable, necesitamos hacer un seguimiento de la carga de horas que va a estar trabajando otra persona. Entonces, esta es una solución excelente, a mi criterio, para un problema que yo tengo cotidianamente, para que se den una idea. Thanks, Asta.
Sí, gracias, Andrés. Ok, vamos adelante. So, okay, and the benefits of this integration, like I want to sum up in 3 parts. So, because first of all, you see the realistic plan and you can plan accordingly. So this is actually one of my, like when people ask like, what is the benefit of your tool, is like that my answer is like, you always see the reality, you see the truth, that like, okay, what is the actual picture of the load of the people? Because if you take a look just on plans like the project managers do on the paper, they always are perfect and they're going to be delivered on time and so on. But if you combine them with the reality, with sick leaves, with vacations, with work that people have outside of that project, then you're going to see that it doesn't really match the plan that you have on the project plan, right? And you need to see the reality. In this case, you will be able to plan accordingly, and you will be able to communicate with the stakeholders. Okay, what is the amount of resources that we need, how much time we need to deliver. So this is very important. Second thing that we have actually is the skill management. So you can actually define, okay, what is the knowledge and what is the skills that the person knows, and based on that you can plan, you can create reports, you can group people by the knowledge. And for example, you may see, okay, I may have the resources in total, but for example, for specific skill, let's say like Java, I may have a lack of resources. I may have a bottleneck for this specific skill. So it's very important because, again, if it doesn't matter if you have resources who don't know how to complete the tasks that are needed to be completed, right? So it's very important that you have the right resources and you know when you have them. And the third is the bidirectional synchronization, which means that it's all automatic. So whenever you do change something in our tool or in Jira Plans or in Jira itself, it's all synchronized automatically. You don't need to update everything. So for example, if some manager changes something, it's going to be propagated and you will see the results immediately. So it's quite useful. Also, the other benefit is that we bring basically the view across projects and boards on one view. So this basically, the main timeline that I was showing, it aggregates across all the teams and all the projects that the person is working on. So essentially, you always see the correct data, because if you are just a project manager in one project, you may be unfamiliar what other managers are going to assign to people that you share with them. So it's important that you look into the actual what people are working on, so you understand that you do not overbook them, that you do not overload them. Okay, and this was like the basics. I'll just show you what our tool is in more details. So essentially, because there are 4 different modules or views in our tool. One of them is Planner that we have already discussed. There are multiple features or that this module can do. It's split into 2 parts, main parts. So like first of all is the backlog. So here you would be able to see like all the tasks that are available in your Jira. You can group them, filter them, so you know, okay, how much work you still have in the pipeline. And you can schedule them simply by drag and dropping the task from the left to the right, or by changing the dates in Jira. So it's up to you. So it's quite flexible. There is a workload indicator. So for example, you see, okay, if it's red, it means that the person is overbooked. If it's green, it means that it's perfectly assigned, so that you utilize the capacity. If it's yellow, it means that the person is underutilized. And it's all configurable. You can configure what percentage is fine for you. You can show this workload not only in hours, but also in percentages. So the tool is quite flexible, how you want to say, how you want to look at it. But the goal of the tool is to give you the option and the functionality to see what you need to see as the manager, as someone who plans work for other people, because this is very important. And as I mentioned previously, there are many like the time off events, like vacaciones, like holidays, sick leaves, and so on. And as Andres mentioned, you can split the tasks, so multiple assignee. There could be like not only 2, but you can split the same task between many people and between different periods of time, which is quite handy and quite unique in Jira, I must say. This is one view. The other view that we have is called individual workspace. So this one is mostly for employees, so it's not like a manager view, but here is where the employees can work. We believe that bringing everything in one view helps employee to focus on work. So if the user is working in different projects, sometimes it could be difficult for him or her to understand, okay, what task I should start, what is exactly assigned to me. So we wanted to bring this all together. And in this view, the individual will see all the tasks that are assigned to him or her, what is exactly scheduled for today. So I know, okay, today I need to work on this and on that. And people can log their hours and track their time right from here. So they don't need to switch to Jira. Everything can be done here. And once they finish, they can just change the status and close the task. So this is like one-stop shop for the employee where they can do all the work that they need to. And the next view is the timesheets view. So the focus of the presentation is mostly about planning, right? But our tool also supports the tracking. So if you are familiar, like with one of our competitors, like Tempo timesheets, this is basically the same. So we allow to generate different reports and track the time spent of the individuals on different projects, different activities. It's quite flexible and versatile, and goes together with the planning. So you just buy one tool and you have all the functionality. So basically, even if you don't use time tracking now, you will always have this option because it's included in the application. And reports. So there are many reports that we have. It's like not even all. It allows you to forecast what is the availability of the person, what is the availability of certain skills in the team. So for example, if you don't know exactly who should be working on that, but you know that certain skills are needed, we have reports for that. We have reports that show how much time was spent on certain project, how much time will be spent on other projects. So different ways to see the data that you have in your organization. And all of the reports, they can be configured as gadgets in your Jira. So basically, whatever you have configured, you can add it as a gadget or widget in your dashboard, and it will be automatically updated. So it's quite handy because, for example, as administrator, you can configure it for other managers, and they will be able to see it even without knowing how to configure it. So it's possible to do for other people, and they don't need to know how to do it on their own. So it's easier for administration. Okay. Es final de presentación. So, muchas gracias y ahora estoy listo para preguntas. Y eu quiero pedir disculparme para hablar solamente en inglés, pero es muy difícil de presentar en español para mí ahora. Quizás en futuro puedo practicar más y puedo demostrar una más, pero en español. Pero podemos discutir y hablar en español ahora.
Perfecto. Muchas gracias, Ostap. La verdad se entendió muy claro, estuvo muy claro los ejemplos. Y justo acá algunos de los chicos los conozco, sé que hablan inglés también, así que no les es molestia a ninguno. Para los que no, en cualquier momento pueden consultar, como ya Ostap ha mencionado, podemos pedirle a él el transcripto en español. Caso contrario, me pueden contactar a mí también y les voy a dar una mano en esto. La verdad, yo tengo más ideas de dónde aplicarlo que otra cosa, para que te des una idea. Se me ocurren casos de uso que veo tanto en mi trabajo como en clientes. Así que personalmente puedo decir que me llevo algunas buenas ideas para ser aplicadas. En particular, a mí me ha gustado lo de la división lo de carga de horas individuales con más de una asigné. Eso me lo voy a llevar, esa es mi perla. Así que por ese lado lo veo muy bueno.
Sí, es bastante único en Marketplace, yo puedo decir.
Realmente no he visto esa propuesta, al menos no con la sección de poder poner cuánta carga por persona. Eso es muy importante.
Sí.
Estamos abiertos acá, si quieren escribir en el chat, chicos. Bien. Bien, Ostap, yo por el momento, si te parece, lo que vamos a hacer es dejar guardada la grabación. Y yo esto lo voy a subir a un canal de YouTube en el que tenemos con la comunidad Trajan. Esto es algo nuevo de este año, así que vamos a dejar de a poquito los eventos que se hagan virtuales para que todos los puedan aprovechar. Voy a dejarles en el chat, ¿sí? Esta es la dirección donde van a poder encontrar. Ahora todavía no hay videos cargados. Esto es algo nuevo, empezamos ahora en enero. Los eventos van a estar cargados ahí con los contactos, de manera que si ustedes el día de mañana quieren compartir con colegas, quieren compartir, no sé, por ejemplo, hoy vienen como representante de alguna empresa, pueden llevar esta grabación que es de acceso libre. Bien.
Sí.
Por lo demás, Ostap, ha sido un gusto. Y la verdad espero poder encontrarte nuevamente. ¿Vas al evento de Teams de este año?
Probablemente, ciertamente, nuestra equipa
Mm,
va allí, pero personalmente no estoy seguro, pero definitivamente nuestra equipa va a estar allí.
perfecto. Bueno, al menos vamos a tener el contacto. Quizás si no nos vemos
Sí,
nosotros,
sí,
tendremos un contacto directo.
sí, sí. Sí, y si hay algunas preguntas, estamos disponibles en inglés, en español, no hay un problema. Y también tenemos partners hispanohablantes. Si hay una pregunta, podemos consultar.
Bien.
Entonces, muchas gracias por la oportunidad de presentar nuestra aplicación.
Por favor, querido, ha sido un gusto. Ahí, mira, me han escrito una pregunta que me parece importante esto, desde el punto de vista de administrador, justamente sobre esta función de, de lo que es asignar una tarea a más de una persona. ¿Eso está puesto como un custom field a nivel estructura?
Sí, es posible aguardar solamente en nuestra aplicación, pero nosotros recomendamos hacer un custom field
Mm.
en Jira de multi-user picker. Es
Ah, ok.
posible de utilizar custom field que ya existe o crear un nuevo campo.
Ok, ok. Eso está
Que
bueno saber. Más que nada por si hubiese una migración o algún tema donde hubiese conflicto con custom fields.
Sim, eu puedo mostrar que aqui, só que lo que necesitan es solo elegir custom build aquí y vamos a preservar
Ok.
eh, asignadores adicionales en
Ujú.
Jira en este field. Y si, por ejemplo, yo voy a añadir alguna persona en este field, el sistema va automáticamente dividir una tarea en dos, tres partes.
Ok, ok, ok. Excelente. Perfecto. Bueno, creo que con eso está respondida la pregunta. Bien. Por lo demás, quedaremos en contacto. Nuevamente, muchas gracias, Ostap. Muchas gracias, chicos, a todos los que están presentes acá, a todos los que están viendo la grabación. De nuevo, si les ocurren algunas preguntas y en el canal de YouTube, pónganlos directamente en los comentarios. Caso contrario, voy a dejar también mi correo. Ahí Ostap también dejará el contacto de Relix para poder conversar con ellos. Y estamos viéndonos en la próxima directamente. Bien.
Sí. Muchas
Muchas gracias a
gracias
todos,
y
chicos.
sí, encantado con conocerlos. Hasta la
Por
próxima.
favor, lo mismo, Ostap.
Hasta la próxima. Sí.
Gracias, chicos.
Chao.